I'm very sorry today. This software is not again and again it is closed. So, but then there's a last part of the question paper. So we are going to discuss. Yes, I was talking about synchronic and diachronic approaches in the study of language. So when you go for 90 hours course in English, suppose we learn, so then you don't bother about the history of the language. You just have to remember few words, few sentences, you cram and then you start using it. That approach is called synchronic or contemporary, where you just have to take contemporary knowledge. That is called synchronic approach to the study of language. And diachronic, when you read root words and then derivations and history of the word, how it this word came into existence, something, that detailed study of language is called diachronic approach, right? So this we are going to discuss in the class. Then provide examples to illustrate how each approach contribute to our understanding of linguistic phenomena. Definitely we should know current language, current words, current ways of speaking English, and we should know the history also, because without knowing history we cannot know the proper language, right? So history plays very crucial role to learn language, right? And that's why when we read the words and all, so that is diachronic approach. Both the approaches are very important to study any language, but here we are talking about English language. Moving to next question. Examine the concept of syllables in linguistics, delving into their structural properties, functions and role in language, right? Examine the concept of syllables in linguistics. Syllables means each and every word, complete word. For example, if we see, best example is examination. Examination is made up with 5 syllables. Ig, I and G becomes ig. Z, that's a Z, I, Z, me, mi, me, ni, nation, actually not nation, nation, ni, for example, ni, and shun is actually S or N come together. So that's the 5 syllable. Syllable means each, when you cut the word, and then each and every complete word is called syllable, right? So I'm going to discuss in the class, I'm going to explain, then you will be able to understand. Then delving into their structural properties, like how this word is made. Suppose you change the formation of words, so what is going to be happen? So this is called structural properties and functions and role in language. So that's what's the use of function, what's the function of syllable, what's the use and what's the role of syllable in language. So that's very important and very interesting. So we are going to discuss when time comes, right? Now reflect on the implications of globalized communication on the practice of translation, considering how it has evolved in response to changing technological and social landscapes. What? Reflect on the implications of globalized communication on the practice of translation. Like globalized communication, now global village, right? And for global village, that's a number of software have been invented. Then immediately if you change, then even when you read some passage, and if I would like to share that I used to write in Hindi poetry. So whenever I write and then I push the button of translation, it changes into English, Marathi and other languages, right? That software, that's a machine translation, because software does, I am not going to do, and within nanosecond it is changed. That is called globalized communication. and then that's a translation, on practice of translation, considering how it has evolved in response to changing technological and social landscape. So very interesting question. And then how technologically we have the, that's a language changes, and social landscape. Yes, socially now we are familiar with other languages also, right? And then that is converted into English. So that's what we are going to discuss in the class. And then next question is, explain the challenges associated with semantic ambiguity. Semantic is words ambiguity. Suppose you have there is confusion, confound, baffled, um, flummox, bewilderment, unsteady mind. Suppose I'm just giving you example. These all, almost all are the words synonyms of confusion, but then it cannot be replaced in every situation. Fill in the blank, because all are similar, but all are not just copy, just same words. Similar is different, but then not exactly same. So that is semantic ambiguity. Suppose you have your choice of word is not proper, so definitely it creates problem. That is called semantic ambiguity. Syntactic ambiguity, when it comes through a sentence and sentence frame is not proper, so that creates syntactic ambiguity. Semantic, when your choice of word, when your choice of word is not proper, that is called semantic ambiguity, right? Now, considering how context and multiple meanings contribute to potential misunderstandings. If your text is not proper, if notes are not proper, if information is not proper, choice of words are not proper, it creates lot of confusion, it creates misunderstandings. So this is the very interesting and very important question which I have to explain in the class. Now, last question, examine the impact of technological advancements such as speech recognition software on the relevance and adaptation of IPA symbols, considering how these tools utilize phonetic transcriptions to enhance accuracy. Examine the impact of technological advancement. So technological impact, advancements definitely impact a lot our language, such as speech recognition software. When we speak something and then software types our words, right, on the relevance and adaptation of IPA symbols. If your speech is clear, if you are familiar with the pronunciation, if your pronunciation is very fine, then considering how these tools utilize phonetic transcriptions to enhance accuracy. So definitely these are very helpful softwares, and which improve, because you can listen so many words. If you have confusion, you can listen, and then re-listen, slow motion, fast motion, in a fast way you can listen. So these are very helpful software, and that is why that's a technical advancements. And then speech recognition software, they have given just one example, so that if our IPA symbols, if you are familiar with IPA symbols, and then you're familiar with the pronunciation, how to pronounce, and then if you speak, so your phone will listen the correct sound, and it will type the correct sound, correct sentences, right? So that finally, that's a, you have to speak, but you have to have knowledge, proper knowledge, and your speech must be clear, your pronunciation must be very fine, and then sentences you have to create. So that is your duty, that is but yes, software will help you. So somewhat these are the software which are very helpful. So I would like to conclude this discussion with this note that technology is very good, very very helpful. This is a boon if you use it. If you use your phone, you can reach what wherever you want to go, you can reach definitely because of this phone, which makes possible. But if you misuse or overuse, so it creates problem in your health. And if you misuse, definitely many have been victimized of blue whale and other things. So don't spoil your time, don't spoil your time to entertain others, to watch their reels, and that's just what we can rubbish videos and all. They are just using you because you are giving views, and you are just entertain them. So instead of this doing this, you just make your videos, do something productive, read, and then thorough reading is very important, it is required. So just inculcate habit of reading, and then it will give you depth, right? Without deep reading, depth cannot be expected. So please start reading. Good reading give time, and then definitely, if you whatever you do, you will get it, right? So thank you, god bless you, bye.